Hello and welcome to the first episode of the Jungle Garden in Denmark. This vlog is about growing exotic plants or plants with a tropical look in the garden. When I started this, I couldn't find anything on the internet about this in Denmark. Which plants can survive here in winter too, and what do you do to winter protect them? We don't have really cold winters anymore, but a lot of rain and a lot of these exotic plants don't like the humidity combined with the cold. I have had to look at vlogs from abroad, but not everything can be used here in Denmark because the weather is different. Perhaps there are others like me in other countries with the same climate who could benefit from my experiences, and that's why I'm making this vlog. We don't have to make the same mistakes, all of us. And some of this is trial and error. I'm trying out different plants and different methods, and not all of it is a success. But let's start with taking a trip around the garden so you can see what I've got here. I have had to record the English version afterwards, so that is why there is no background noise. Sorry about that. This is what we call the old jungle. It was planted last year. We have different plants growing here. Some banana plants, as you can see. Actually, we have many different plants here, so if I have to tell about all of them, this will be a very long vlog, so I'll just tell about the biggest of them. And this is an Acacia delbata, and it is growing like mad upwards, and actually it was beginning to bend. So in the end we had to make a crutch for it, which is not really a thing of beauty, but hopefully we can remove it again later on. Next is a Phormium, or New Zealand flax as it is called, and here next to it a Gonera manicata that has suffered a little during the dry summer, even though we have watered it a lot, but hopefully it will look better later on. And this is a Casalpinia. It gets the most fantastic flowers. I will put in a photo from last year. And here we have a canna that actually stayed in the ground during last winter. It was a trial and it was a success, as you can see. So you don't have to dig up the tubers. It doesn't mean we haven't protected it, but it has been in the ground all winter. In one of the later episodes I will show what we do to protect them. Here are more bananas, and unfortunately we lost one of our birch trees, so we had to cut it down. I have left the stump because I'm trying to grow some ivy up the trunk, and maybe I can plant something interesting in that hole at one time. Here is one of the hardy palm trees, Trachycarpus fortunei, and right next to it, its cousin, Trachycarpus wagnerianus, also hardy here in Denmark. We don't have really cold winters anymore, so they have been in the ground all winter. Next to it is a Colocasia pink china, and normally Colocacias can't survive outside here in Denmark, but I've made a trial. The same trial as with the cannas, and obviously it has survived. It is the most hardy of the Colocaceae. I have another one further down. This is one of the streams to the pond, which I will show you later on. And here is a tree fern, a Dixonia antarctica. And all you have to do is protect the center of it, then it will survive the winter no problem. We have several of these in the garden. And as you can see, the bananas again. And over here, one of our big bamboos, or it will be big. This is a thug, it wants to spread. There are two types of bamboo, clumping, non-invasive, and spreading, invasive bamboos. This is a spreader, so it has been planted with a root barrier. In this case, a top with the bottom cut off, so that I have a little control of it. So far it looks like it's working, but it hasn't been in the ground for so long, so I might get a nasty surprise. And here we have Tetrapanax papyrifera steroidal giant. You almost stumble over that. With huge leaves. It's one of my favorite plants. And next to it we have Pavlonia tomentosa, also giant leaves, and it has gone berserk this year, growing really high and making these giant leaves. This is my hand in comparison to the leaf. You can see it is almost as big as Tetrapanax over here. And again, my hand and the leaf. I almost can't take the camera that far back. This is where the stream begins. And we have some more tree ferns. There's one here. The rest are ordinary ferns. You can't see the big difference just yet. Further down we have a ginger or Hedychium. They have really pretty leaves because they are red underneath, as you can see. And it gets red flowers. It flowers in late autumn, just before it gets too cold. And it will wither down every winter and come back again in the spring. This is a Amicia. In between I have put some ordinary ground cover plants. Here a Brunnera, and we have lots of hostas. Unfortunately the snails have feasted on them this year, the little beasts. This is a Euphorbia, gets nice yellow flowers, and next to it is also a ginger or Hedychium, another kind than the other. It hasn't flowered yet, but as far as I remember, it had white flowers last year. And next to it we have a cousin, Count Leia. It has had flowers and they were absolutely amazing. Red with yellow. And then we have a saber tiger in the jungle. More hardy palms, again Trachycarpus fortunei. And underneath that Tetrapanax leaf there's a Bootia. It has just been planted because the palm tree that was there died. It's not everything that survives. That's why it's trial and error, unfortunately. And this was the old jungle. Here is the new jungle. It has been planted this year. I have tried to make a little bamboo grove down here with some special bamboos. They have all been planted with a root barrier because they are thugs. They want to spread. And in the back there we have a different palm tree. Cyagrus it is called. It will be interesting because it's only hardy down to -3 degrees centigrade, so I hope they will survive. Luckily we don't have really cold winters anymore, but let's see. Then in the middle here we have a cordyline, also a New Zealand plant. And I don't know which kind it is because it was one the local nursery got for me. It is not looking very well. It was outside last winter and apparently it wasn't too wild about that. We have other cordylines called Cordyline australis and they have done very well in the winter. So it must be another kind. It is because it looks different. And as you can see there is no ground cover yet. That will be next year's project. And here is Cappuccino. He thinks he should be the focus of this film. Here we have Canna musifolia, or banana canna, as it is called, because it is a canna that thinks it's a banana plant. It gets giant leaves. It doesn't flower much. It's all about the foliage. And this is a tree that I have been able to buy here in Denmark, catalpa. Again, something with big leaves. I have gone for plants with big leaves to get the jungle look. And over here is another banana canna, here with dark leaves. And to the right in the back we have a fig tree, and in front of that is a Cordyline australis, looking a lot better than the other one. And this is a magnolia we saved from the garden. We thought might as well put it here because it gets pretty purple flowers in spring. Here we have tried to plant bamboos to get some shelter. It is always windy here where we live. And as you can see on the bananas, their leaves get thrashed by the wind. You can clearly see these newly planted bananas here are more sheltered and have a lot better looking leaves because they don't get beaten by the wind. This has all been planted this year. And again, over here we have Dixonia antarctica. Two tree ferns. And then we have our old rhododendron bed, not very jungle-like. This is the second stream and its origin. This stream is shorter than the other one. We need to have two streams because they are part of the filter for the pond. Here is a grass bed with different types of grasses, and over here is our yucca bed with different types of hardy yuccas. They're out here all winter. This one is Yucca rostrata. It flowered last year and it was taller than me with a flower spike. Behind it we have different types of Yucca gloriosa, and they stay out all winter just doing fine. And this is the pond. I'll just go back a little so you can see it better. It's an aquascape ecosystem pond built after Aquascape's concept, which means crystal clear water and very low maintenance. Aquascape is an American company. They make ponds a little different than you normally see here in Denmark. I can show more about how we build it if you're interested later on. This is our New Zealand bed with plants from New Zealand. Again, we have a Cordyline australis, and behind it a tree fern, and then we have different types of flax. And the small green one in the middle is an astelia, also from New Zealand. The small shrubs are hebe, and you can actually get them here in Denmark. These are all plants native to New Zealand. These grasses used to be green. I hope they will get the color back, and they have become a little floppy. To the other side, we have the Australian bed. I have cheated a little because I have used some Hebe and New Zealand grasses. It was impossible to get Australian ground cover to Denmark, but here we have an eucalyptus tree, or eucalyptus tree. You can see it. It will be multi-stemmed, and a kangaroo paw plant. And then we have a couple of bottle brushes. They have had beautiful flowers this year. There are two different kinds, but both had red flowers. And here is the pond again from the other side. This is the more ordinary part of the garden, with buddleias and our bird restaurant, where we have pheasants coming to eat, mostly in winter. And we have had a woodpecker family coming all spring, mom, dad and baby. And here our rhododendron bushes, which have flowered beautifully this year. Here is our courtyard, and here we mostly have plants that need to go in for the winter, except a few. Again, Yucca gloriosa, it stays out all year, no problem. A canna and a gloriosa called sparkling stripe. Amazing flower. I've grown it from tuber and it looked like it wasn't going to grow, but all of a sudden it changed its mind. And another bottle brush with agapanthus in front. And here we have the banana corner with not hardy bananas. Then some not hardy palms and some cordyline. We have a red one and this one over here is called Torbay Dazzler. They are not hardy here in Denmark. There is also a Cyagrus in the corner, and it should be able to survive out here, so I will try that this year. Here I have made a biological filter, Aquascapes recipe, so that the water comes up through the pot where that colocasia pink china grows as a part of the filter. It has actually been there in water all winter and survived. And this is how it currently looks like here at our place. I hope you have enjoyed my little tour of the garden. I will try to upload a new episode once a month. It depends a little on when there is action in the garden, and that is primarily in autumn and spring, but my intention is once a month. Thanks for watching.